One of the great things about having PayPal and Venmo as payment options is that it really reduces friction at the time of the sale. Whether it's for my wholesale business, sending invoices, or my corporate customers who want to pay through PayPal, and even my subscription consumers who are ordering through my website or at my pop-up markets, PayPal and Venmo are always super flexible and a really easy interface. My Venmo business profile is great, particularly because it allows me to operate really seamlessly when I'm out in the market. I can just jump back and forth between my personal Venmo and my business Venmo profile. There are so many different ways that customers can pay. It's simple, it's easy, and it's secure. I'm most proud of taking the leap. Starting a business is hard, but I'm exceptionally proud that I was able to put out something into the world that brings people joy.
And now, please welcome PayPal's General Manager of Large Enterprise, Frank Keller.
Welcome back. I hope you are all well caffeinated so you don't fall asleep. I'm super excited to be here. You heard Alex, you heard Diego, you heard Srini. Diego spoke with you about the consumer side of our network, and I am here to discuss the merchant side. I'll cover three things. First, how we have reimagined our checkout experiences to drive growth. Secondly, how we drive profitable growth in our enterprise processing business, also known as Braintree. And third, and finally, how we support our merchants as we look into the future. So PayPal is not only the smartest way to pay, but it's also for merchants the smartest way to get paid. And that's why PayPal Checkout is at the core of our flywheel. Diego already talked about this. This is our branded checkout growth formula. As you see, the checkout experience is at the center, connecting the merchant and the consumer side. So for consumers, it needs to be fast, it needs to be easy, and it needs to be personalized. And for merchants, it needs to drive conversion. Last year, we've been laser focused on reimagining our checkout experiences. So let me tell you what we have accomplished. As you see here, there are essentially three core checkout experiences: Vaulted, One Time, and Guest. So Vaulted is our best performing experience. It is ideal for repeat purchases. Think of rideshare, food delivery, etc. Then there's One Time. It provides the full flexibility every time you pay, like in traditional retail and on marketplaces. And then there's Guest Checkout. That has a lot of friction, but it's almost 40% of global e-commerce, often used in low-frequency scenarios. This is why we've innovated with Fastlane by PayPal. I want to double-click into each. What is a vaulted payment? Imagine that you open a new rideshare account. During setup, you need to choose a default payment method. So when you ride, you're focusing on getting from A to B, and the payment actually automatically happens in the back. This is when PayPal is vaulted. We're having an outstanding conversion rate of 95%. And that is because our wallet is so powerful. We have multiple payment methods, so payments rarely fail. But we had an opportunity to do even better during sign-up, login, and how fast it is. So let me take you through these. When a merchant presents a user with payment options, they don't know what to prioritize. Alex called it, they're guessing. So this is where we've developed the payment-ready signal. It arms merchants with the information they need to prioritize our customers. If they're PayPal, Venmo, or Pay Later users. As an example that you see here, with the payment-ready signal, it moved from initially third place up to the top of the stack for a recognized PayPal customer. Secondly, we took the friction out of login with biometrics. Login is painful, especially on mobile. Nobody enjoys typing in usernames, remembering passwords. So biometrics eliminate the hassle and make it easy, as you see in this example. Login success rates of the new experience are significantly higher. They're 96%. And on top, it's even more secure. Our new login experience is fundamentally better, especially on mobile. And third, we've dramatically increased the speed of our checkout experiences. Last year, we've completely rebuilt our 20-plus-year-old checkout code base, making it faster and better. And as a result, latency is down by over 40%. But we're not stopping there. As Srini mentioned, we're moving to the cloud, which will further increase the checkout speed for our global customers. And let me tell you, we're very pleased with the results of our early adopters. And if you take it all together, consumers have less friction when they select and log in into PayPal. Merchants get higher converting customers, and PayPal is getting a bigger share. So I call that a win-win-win. With that, let's look at one-time checkout. This is when a consumer actively selects PayPal for every purchase, like in classical retail. It gives the consumer flexibility, especially on high order values, as they might want to pay over time, utilize credit, maximize their point, like when buying an airline ticket. When merchants offer our trusted brand at checkout, they see a 33% conversion lift. And we, again here, saw further opportunity to make checkout even better, to make it more modern and streamlined. We have completely redesigned the pay sheet to make it slick and take out the cognitive load for consumers. The new design guides the consumer through 3 simple decisions they need to make during checkout. When to pay, now or later. How to pay, with PayPal balance, bank account, debit or credit card. And last, the shipping details. And let me tell you, it works beautifully, especially on mobile. We see an over 100 basis points conversion lift. That's a big deal. And now, this is actually different. We went one step further. We made the design modular so that the experience can adapt to the individual need of a consumer. With that, consumers not only get a slick checkout, they receive a personalized shopping experience. And as you can see here in this Pay Later example, we can now show a consumer that they're clearly being pre-approved. This drove a 20% lift in Pay Later usage, and it doubled the first-time Pay Later users. So let's move over and talk how we have innovated guest checkout. When we stepped back, we saw an immense opportunity to bring more consumers into the PayPal ecosystem, and ultimately, the branded checkout flywheel. As mentioned, data entry is a key challenge for consumers, and it's painful for merchants. Staggering 54% of consumers drop out of the guest checkout, directly impacting merchants' bottom line. To seize that opportunity and to streamline guest checkout for consumers and for merchants, we have built Fastlane by PayPal. And we're well positioned to do so, thanks to our trusted brand halo. And Fastlane is showing excellent results. Consumers are opting in. In fact, we already have in our network more than 170 million accounts in the US that are Fastlane ready. And merchants are seeing a significant conversion lift, over 50% in their guest checkout. So for PayPal, it's a meaningful opportunity to increase our overall share of checkout. And we're now focused on rapidly scaling the merchant side with partners like BigCommerce, Adyen, Fiserv, and more. Now, this is important. Fastlane fuels our branded flywheel with a second opportunity to bring consumers into our ecosystem. Let me tell you, we're watching Fastlane user cohorts extremely carefully. And what we're seeing is interesting. 25% are new to PayPal. And over 50% are inactive, meaning they have a PayPal account they are no longer using. So it becomes a great channel for us to engage new or lapsed users with branded checkout. So as you see, Fastlane is part of our holistic approach to growing PayPal branded checkout. As these experiences are now delivering results for customers and for PayPal, we're now focused on bringing our new checkout experiences to a global scale. Today, we've already scaled to more than 30% coverage in the US. And soon we'll start rolling out to the UK, to Germany, followed by the rest of the world. As we continue to drive results for our customers, we will phase out our old experiences. And that is important so that our consumers around the world get a consistent, modern, and fast checkout experience wherever they shop. And you'll hear more about merchant adoption from Susan later. So I know you're all interested in understanding our growth expectations for branded checkout. Our plan is to accelerate TPV growth to between 8 and 10% by 2027. We will measure success by growing our new experience share to over 80%, growing Pay Later usage by more than 20%, and growing Pay with Venmo by more than 40%, as you heard in Diego's section. So to summarize, we have a rigorous plan to drive checkout growth. We're reigniting consumer selection. We have reimagined our checkout experiences and innovated with Fastlane. And those are highly performing to exceed merchant and consumer needs. And now we're laser focused on scaling them across our global merchant base. When we talk to merchants, they are impressed by our new experiences, which opens doors for having much more holistic conversations about how we help them driving their business. And with that, I'd like to turn to the second part, which is our enterprise payments business, which you all know as Braintree. I'm proud that we've made significant progress last year by building this business, bringing this business back to profitability. And I'm excited to tell you more about how we grow from here. Let me tell you, we have a leading enterprise payments platform. It's scaled. We've processed over $570 billion last year with leading authorization rates. We're global. We're serving some of the largest brands around the world. And we have a strong suite of value-added services, which is for PayPal a massively untapped opportunity. For those of you in the room who are not familiar with the platform, I want to quickly walk you through. So there's payment processing. This is processing debit and credit cards. These are alternative and local payment methods. And of course, our own checkout options. We have a suite of value-added services that are powered by the data from our network. And we have orchestration, which is critical to our open platform strategy. I want to explore with you our growth strategy that will drive accelerated and profitable growth. I want to take you through the 3 pillars: expansion of our processing, how we're scaling our high-margin value-added services, and how we're scaling our open architecture approach. Let me start with a major leap for our payments business. We're going to expand our total addressable market into omni-channel processing. We've announced this morning that we've enabled this with a strategic partnership with Verifone, a global leader in point of sale. With that, we will be able to serve omni-channel merchants around the world with a cost-effective and highly scalable approach. And I'm super excited to unlock this opportunity, as it means many new possibilities for PayPal to seamlessly connect the online and the physical world. In addition, we're laser focused on geographic and vertical expansion. 70% of our business is currently concentrated in North America. Thus, we have a massive opportunity to grow internationally, where we see higher margins. To do so, we're strengthening our localized capabilities and our localized go-to-market. We also see an opportunity to grow faster through a vertically segmented approach, with tailored offerings that address the unique needs of each vertical, all the way from product to sales. The second pillar is about unlocking the margin opportunity of our strong suite of value-added services that are powered by the data of our two-sided network. I want to give you a couple examples. So we have payouts. Think of gig economy. This is where we pay out to SMB sellers or solopreneurs in over 200 markets in many currencies. This is also fueling our network. More than half of those funds actually go straight into PayPal or Venmo wallets. And Michelle later will talk more about our SMB strategy. There's risk, fraud, and payment optimization services. They are powered by AI and ML models that are trained on our global transactions across the network, which is saving our merchants dollars and time. And then we've just externalized our FX services for our cross-border merchants to remove the complexity and headache while also saving them cost. And we're now focused on scaling them effectively across our customer base to enhance the margin profile of our payments business. And lastly, there's orchestration, which is at the core of our open architecture approach. It allows our merchants to expand globally and quickly enable new use cases without the tech and organizational burden of doing everything themselves, which means merchants need to connect only once to us and to get access to the whole global ecosystem. What you actually might not know is we're already a leading scaled orchestrator. We have orchestrated over $66 billion last year. We already have more than 100 connections to partners across PSP, fraud, loyalty, connected commerce. And finally, our open architecture strategy will also enable partners to grow with us. So with all of that, we expect our enterprise payments business to grow transaction margin twofold by 2027, while also growing volumes at e-commerce levels. To summarize, I want to leave you with 3 things about our enterprise payments business. We will grow by expanding our total addressable market into omnichannel, targeted geographies and verticals. We're laser focused on unlocking our margin-rich opportunity with value-added services. And third, we're building an open architecture which gives merchants access to the full ecosystem through our platform connection. Let's look at large enterprises. As large enterprises adopt more and more services, they become more profitable. So we create compounding results, as you see here. Merchants typically enter to our ecosystem through branded checkout. Then they adopt processing and move to a platform integration, which allows us then to add higher margin value-added services and new innovations. As you can see down there, we have a lot of upside. But listen, to achieve this, we must fundamentally change how we go to market. So let me show you the future. This morning, we have announced PayPal Open, our one platform for all business. PayPal Open brings our legacy acquisition and product brands under one roof. The value proposition is structured in 3 core needs, which we actually hear from every merchant, be it large, be it small. It's power my payments, drive my growth, and help me operating smarter. And an important role of PayPal Open is also that it provides merchants access to our latest innovations. So dovetailing into what Alex already said, I have one more thing to talk about, which is the PayPal Commerce API. 70% of consumers expect personalized experiences. But it's really hard to do and get it right. It's super hard to know what a consumer wants, especially when you have only limited information as a merchant. This is where we are uniquely positioned to help. Consumers have always entrusted us with their financial information. So it's no leap of faith that they also entrust us with their shopping preferences. In fact, in the US, we already have the permission of 80 million consumers to do so. And with the PayPal Commerce API, we provide merchants with relevant product recommendations and deals to personalize their experiences. We will start testing this innovation with strategic partners later this year, and merchants will get access through PayPal Open. And if you haven't done so, feel free to learn more about this in the demo space. So as I wrap, I want to leave you with 3 takeaways. We're raising the bar on branded checkout. We have an end-to-end plan to accelerate growth. Our new experiences are delightful for consumers and drive conversion and outcomes for merchants. We're laser focused on scaling them globally and to drive consumer selection. We are growing our enterprise payments business profitably And we're accelerating growth by expanding into omnichannel, targeted geographies, and verticals. And we're accelerating our value-added services adoption. And finally, PayPal Open gives merchants of all sizes access to the full power of PayPal, including new innovations like the Commerce API. So much of what I've talked about is not only relevant for large enterprises, but also for small businesses. Thus, I want to hand it over to Michelle, who will walk you through our SMB strategy.
Thanks very much, Frank. Frank talked about how we're going to completely overhaul and dramatically improve the checkout experiences for large enterprises. I'm going to talk to you about how we're actually going to make that ingestible for small businesses. So before I do that, I'm going to contextualize for you what our small business ecosystem looks like today. So first, we have a massive SMB merchant base. We've got over 20 million merchant accounts across 200 markets globally. We also have merchants that span both goods and services businesses. They're online and offline. And today, less than 20% of our actives are exclusively e-commerce businesses. These businesses select us because of our trusted brand, our solutions that grow with them. If you look at it today, over 400 million consumers trust PayPal. We have one of the 3 most trusted financial services brands globally. We have a high net promoter scores, and our merchants say that we're universally accepted, recognized, and dependable, all things that they count on. They start with us in P2P. They then move on to branded checkout. They often then adopt full stack. And as their needs change, they might adopt invoicing or point of sale. As you can see, as their business grows, so does their involvement and engagement with PayPal. And our products drive very clear value for them. When merchants put PayPal on their checkout page, they see a 46% increase in conversion. When merchants add BNPL, we see that it increases their average order value by 62%. And merchants who adopt PayPal Working Capital typically see a 36% increase in their total payment volume subsequent to that first loan. But we don't stop there. We're not just focused on the revenue side, we're also focused on keeping costs down. And what we see is that when merchants adopt things like package tracking, they see an 80% reduction in disputes. Sorry. But in 2022 and 2023, we lost focus on our SMBs. We went to market with a suboptimal go-to-market approach. We lacked product innovation, and our products were not integrated, making it difficult on our small businesses. And so we saw a decline in our business. But we've been on a mission to turn that around over the last year. So now I'm going to walk you through what we've been doing. In 2024, we had a big year. We meaningfully inflected the business. And now we're on the path to be the indispensable platform for small businesses. First, we focused on our go-to-market strategy. Second, our product innovation. And third, our customer engagement. Let me walk you through each of those separately. Go-to-market. Frank talked about this a little bit as well. We've gone to market historically with capabilities. Now our aim is to go to market with solutions. We had a set of proliferating brands, which you heard we unified into PayPal Open. On product innovation, we went to market product by product. They were often self-serving. We weren't focused in serving a customer need and working customer back and coming to market with that solution. And we've really been focused on payment and payment adjacent. And now, as you heard from Alex and Frank, with things like the Commerce API, we're much more focused on growth. And lastly, customer engagement. We've been really transactional. This past year, we decided to do a lot more proactive outreach and create delightful experiences for our merchants. And rather than going to market with a one-size-fits-all, we created personalized, AI-driven experiences that facilitated a much more customized approach to our merchants. All of this under one large umbrella that we now call PayPal Open. the way in which we're going to power the future of commerce for SMBs. Through this transformation, we can't wait to have our merchants easily discover us, be eager to use us, and absolutely love us. We will do this enabled by our brand, our network, our data, and our relationships. So what do we mean by overhauling our GTM strategy and having merchants discover us? Well, first and foremost, many of our merchants say to us, like, I don't know what to do next. I don't know how to find your solution. How can you make it easier for me? Those are the things we focused on. For our partners, we've been focused on making our solutions very easily ingestible and covering them and co-creating solutions with them. And, of course, you heard about our brand. So let me walk you through each of those. All right, this should look familiar. Frank just talked about this. We had a set of proliferating brands. We also went to market with a really disjointed strategy. What did we decide to do? We brought together all our brands. But it's not, this PayPal Open thing, it's not just a rebranding. It's not like we're just saying, hey, let's throw everything under one roof and put it all together and somehow magically it's gonna work. Instead, Srini talked to you about the way that we're actually bringing all of these brands together architecturally. That is the critical thing, that now a merchant can enter through any door and have access to the rest of our platform. We are aiming to make it interoperable and bring together solutions that make sense for them, where they can have a self-guided, curated journey under the PayPal Open umbrella. And so, yes, today we announced that new brand, and we're very excited to launch it. But more importantly, the work that we've done over the past 13, 14 months to get us here and really allow us to get to this point is what's been incredible. Merchant onboarding. Historically, we had 35 screens for a merchant to onboard. That is incredibly frictionful. We have now moved to 7 screens. Not only have we done that, but we also introduced an intent questionnaire. You might say, well, you just eliminated a whole lot of friction and then you introduced an intent questionnaire. Why would you do that? Well, we actually gave merchants the choice of whether or not they wanted to go through the intent questionnaire. And what we have seen is merchants who go through the intent questionnaire actually perform much better on the other side. And so that self-selection is also helping us better understand that merchant and also really driving higher quality merchants. We've already seen 2 times product activation through that intent questionnaire, as well as 1.5 times increase in average margin per merchant. But we're just getting started. We're not just gonna stop at that. We're introducing personalized recommendations, try before you buy experiences, and a fully serviceable dashboard. And next up, our partner go-to-market strategy. What we've seen is that when we actively manage a partner relative to not actively managing them, a 20% increase in total payment volume. So we made the decision that in 2025, we're gonna increase the number of actively managed partners by 2.5 times. That will allow us to, with a greater number of partners, really find curated co-solution opportunities to bring to market the suite of capabilities that we've historically independently housed in a way that makes sense for their merchants, to drive loyalty to them and for their merchants to them, and ultimately that loyalty will inure to the benefit of PayPal. All right, so I've told you about how our merchants are gonna very easily discover us and our partners. And now I wanna talk to you about why our merchants are gonna be so eager to use us. So having gone from a lack of innovation, we are now here having innovated over the last year and having an amazing roadmap for the years to come of product innovation. And the reason this is so important for small businesses is the preponderance of small businesses use upwards of 15 tools to manage their businesses. They don't do this by choice. They do this because they have to, because many of the tools are disparate and they have to cobble them together. Our aim is to reduce that friction for them and bring more of these tools together under our roof. And even with all of that, the preponderance of small businesses, upwards of 50%, fail in the first year. So our goal is help small businesses survive, and more importantly, with our growth solutions, help them thrive. So with that, you remember back to when we introduced PayPal Complete Payments. That was the way in which small businesses were going to adopt our payment solution, and again, through an integrated architecture that we brought together, be in a position to adopt branded, full stack, and all of the complementary solutions that went with it. In 2024, we were able to roll this out to 37 markets. And that doesn't mean, oh, just change the language. That means customizing all of the alternative payment methods for that particular market and having successful launches in each of those markets. That gave our merchants industry-leading conversion rates, low latency, and high authorization rates. And now, all of the merchants that are on PayPal Complete Payments can easily access Fastlane and our most modern checkouts. What we saw as an added benefit of people moving to this better stack was also an increase by 33% of incremental product adoption. In 2025, the thing we're really excited about is we're going to tap into a brand new market, B2B bill pay. B2B bill pay is tapping into a $2 trillion market. This is exciting not just for our merchants, but also for PayPal in that it opens up a brand new network. So let me talk about our existing merchants. Today, our existing merchants receive about $200 billion in the PayPal ecosystem, 80% of which leaves without being respent through PayPal. This is an opportunity and a reason for these merchants to not have to transfer money to 4 or 5 different places, but be in a position to spend that money through the PayPal ecosystem. So that is benefit 1. Benefit 2, they now get to invite their vendors, their suppliers, to join the PayPal ecosystem, making it faster for those vendors and suppliers to get paid, and ultimately bringing them into the ecosystem in such a way that in the future, you could imagine these transactions could just be ledger to ledger rather than even having any money transfer take place. And by the end of 2025, we hope to power all of this through PYUSD. So lots of innovation coming in 25, again, to simplify the lives of our merchants. Also in 24, we spent a lot of time on our merchant lending business. Our merchants love our merchant lending products, but sadly, they weren't available to as many merchants as we had hoped. So we spent 2024 with our credit team bringing in a lot of third-party data to allow us to expand the number of merchants that we could lend to responsibly. And in so doing, we've already seen eligibility go up by 43%. That's pretty incredible. We also put the application and the ability to get loans in more places, leading to a 2 times adoption by first-time users. We have many more plans to expand on this in 2025. We're planning to introduce microloans to facilitate access for even smaller merchants, as well as loans for up to $1 million to facilitate loans for larger merchants. We're really excited about what's to come. All of this will ultimately lead to 2 times increase in our business. And next up, Frank and Alex talked about the Commerce API. So the Commerce API is amazing if you're a large enterprise, right? You can just ingest it, you can put it into your flows, et cetera. Our role in small business is to now make this something that is very tangible for small businesses to use, right? Not complicated, they can ingest it in much the same way and use it to personalize their offers. Frank already talked about this. 69% of consumers prefer personalized experiences. We cannot leave the small businesses out in the cold without the same resources that the large enterprises have. And so our goal is to make it really easy for them to get access to these same types of resources, be able to offer repeat purchases as well as personalized offers in much the same way that a large enterprise can. All right, so I've talked to you about Discover. I've talked to you about their eagerness to use because of our innovations. And now I'm going to talk to you about why these merchants are going to absolutely love us. And it really has to do with us creating engaging experiences that not only make their lives easier, but help them grow. Okay, so the 2 places that we spent a lot of time in terms of engagement were the web surface and the app. And you'll understand why in a minute. We have 250 million people that come to the web surface. That's 25 million users that visit us. Through that, we activated 1.5 million products. Historically, that used to just be a transaction history, like here's what happened, da, da, da. You couldn't really do anything with that other than see a history. Today, that offers you insights on your conversion rates, your auth rates, your extant loans, your cash flow. And our goal is to make that better and better. And so the objective here is provide you insights, not just on what's going on, but how to change outcomes. Next up, our app. Our app gets 5 million users. And historically, if you were a consumer and a merchant, it was really hard to switch between the two. Now we've made it super seamless to switch between the two, and you can action your business through your app. How do we know that this is working? We've already seen 300,000 invoices created through the app in 2024. And guess what? If you create an invoice and send it via PayPal, we've seen 79% of those invoices get paid same day. So there's a lot of benefit to having these surfaces be incredibly engaging. Not only are we changing the surfaces, but we're also changing our customer service model. As I mentioned at the very beginning, we've historically been very reactive. Last year, we ran a number of pilots to have much more proactive outreach. What we saw with that proactive outreach is a 4% increase in total payment volume and a 6% increase in product adoption. We also know that with active account management, we see 50% less churn and a 17-point increase in revenue growth. And so our goal is, we obviously can't touch every merchant with a human. That would be impractical based on our 20 million merchant base size, but instead to really power personalized experiences through AI for these merchants. Let me walk you through what that's going to look like. All right, so today you come to PayPal. You want to start your business. The first question you ask is, how do I start selling? Next question you ask is, how can I optimize pricing in my local area? Next up, what vendors should I use? Then you want to know, what geography should I expand to next? And lastly, how should I optimize my cash flow? Imagine all of these questions being answered by your AI personalized, powered insight tool that can help you. Because if you're a beauty business, we can help you know if the margins are richer if you're in Italy, if you want to move to Germany versus France. And we can give you that advice. That is where we're moving toward. And that is what we're really excited about. All right, so we've gotten our merchants to discover us, use us, and love us. What does this all translate into? Ultimately, growth in actives, as well as reduction in churn, and monetization through products per merchant, as well as average revenue per product, the amalgam of which translates into revenue growth for PayPal. So as I talked to you about at the very beginning, the preponderance of our merchants start with us in P2P. As you can see, as they adopt incremental products and as they grow, the potential for them to grow with PayPal and for their revenue to grow as their product adoption grows is incredibly meaningful. It ranges all the way from 12 times to 67 times. And as you can see, our product penetration on a lot of these products is very de minimis. And hence, the opportunity in front of us is massive. Let me bring it all back. So our goal is to deliver AI-powered growth for small businesses. We're building on a massive scale, brand trust, global reach, and vertical exposure. As I mentioned, in 2024, we really refocused to better serve our SMB needs. We improved our go-to-market, we improved our servicing, and we re-accelerated innovation to deepen these merchant relationships. We are literally transforming to be the indispensable partner that helps SMBs fuel their growth. And with that, I'll turn it over to Susan.
Thank you, Michelle. Good morning. I'm Susan Carrere, and I have the pleasure of leading an organization we call Global Markets. We lead PayPal's business in the markets. We are responsible for the end-to-end relationship with our customers around the world. So here's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to bring to life how we go to market with everything you've heard this morning. This is the plan to unlock extraordinary growth across PayPal around the world. So let's get started. So you're all very familiar with PayPal's next generation commerce flywheel. The role of Global Markets is to power that flywheel around the world. We are the force multiplier. We bring merchants, partners, and consumer value together. We nurture and grow these relationships, and we scale our products and services to markets around the world. So before we talk about the opportunities that lie ahead of us, let me anchor you in the foundations of our business. So Alex outlined much about our scale, built over many years. That scale is substantial. We have scale, yes, but it is the strength of our diversity that actually drives the growth you see on our platform. We serve merchants across a range of verticals, from retail and travel through to new high-growth industries like gaming and digital goods. We have a growing presence of consumers and merchants outside the US, and our volumes are equally diversified by business line. We have the privilege to serve nearly 90% of Fortune 500 companies around the world. They range from digital and commerce platforms to streaming and content service providers to marketplaces and omni-channel retailers. So, how do we build this franchise to drive growth? Let's go back to the growth formula. You heard from my colleagues earlier on the first two components, selection and experience. I want to dive into merchant adoption and help you understand how PayPal's reach, relevance, and impact work across our markets to fuel growth. So let me start with reach. Digital commerce, well, it's complex. In early stage markets, the customer needs often centers on being able to accept and send payments securely and affordably across borders. These customers find tremendous value in our most established checkout, wallet, and payout products. Now, in markets that are further along that digital evolution, consumers expect everything in real time and more personalization. In these markets, we help our merchants deliver against their needs at scale through omni-channel, AI-enabled experiences, loyalty, and rewards. And as customers and markets advance through this evolution, we activate many more parts of the flywheel. Crucially here, every market is moving. They're all advancing. And it is this movement that is our opportunity. It's our opportunity to become much more relevant to our customers and in turn, deliver much higher ARPA. Let's look at the accumulative effect of that revenue across markets. ARPA acceleration is most pronounced in the US, where we offer our most advanced capabilities. When a large enterprise adopts 2 products, we generate 7 times more revenue. That number jumps to 12 times when they adopt 3 products. And as markets continue to evolve, we are much better positioned to serve and monetize, which in turn drives higher revenue per merchant. And you know what excites us the most? It's that number at the beginning. More than half of our merchants use only 1 product today. That means the opportunity, well, it's right there in front of us. Now, linking back to our growth formula, let me show you how higher adoption fuels branded checkout growth. Merchants predominantly start their journey on us using 1 or 2 core products, branded and unbranded processing. As they add more across the flywheel, payouts, foreign exchange services, buy now, pay later, engagement grows. It grows almost 9 times. And that story is very consistent when you look at our consumer growth as well. As they use more of their products, overall, PayPal branded usage goes up 5 times. Why? Well, I know you've heard it this morning. It's the flywheel. Consumers are getting much more value, and that value with better experiences drives more habituation. This is the formula for branded checkout growth in action. It's higher consumer engagement, improved product experiences, and scaled merchant adoption. So if that's the formula, what's the potential? Now, as Alex outlined, we're in a leading position to target this untapped opportunity. And here's what it looks like at the market level. Our business is, yes, it's much more robust in online commerce, but there's still significant addressable opportunity even here. There's $60 billion in opportunity to go get in the US alone, And if you add up all of international, there's another 40 billion to go get. And so whether by business line and by geography, we are still so early in offline commerce, ads, and credit. All we need to do is execute. Now, to that point, we've made significant changes in our operating model to execute at scale and at pace. The starting point for us was to organize around the customer. We appointed regional and country general managers who now have end-to-end accountability for the customer in their local market context. We've streamlined roles. We changed the way sales practices work. We equipped the teams with new tools. We've structured around the customer. And as Michelle pointed out, we've expanded coverage. We now cover 95% of our largest customers and our largest partners, and we cover 80% of our SMB book. These changes are translating into very clear momentum, and we see positive results from this transformation in multiple markets. Michelle talked about PPCP. It's a great example of our ability to scale. Double-digit growth in the US, UK, and Germany. Very similar success with working capital. BNPL and P2P, as you heard from Diego. Massive success in the US, Germany, France, Italy, Spain. And yes, we have the same work to do in the UK and Australia. And if you go to our Braintree business reset, well, revenue is up 20% in the US and Germany. And if you're following, that's 343 for Germany. Now, we need to scale these promising but still early growth spurts. And we have 3 clear priorities to make that happen. We're expanding reach, we're expanding relevance, and we're accelerating impact. So I'll start with the first priority, expand reach. Now, to expand reach, we need to make more products and services available to our customers around the world. Here's our roadmap. And this is a roadmap that will bring parity to markets globally over the next 3 years, aligned with where our markets are locally and what the needs of our customers are in each of those contexts. In the US and most of our top 10 markets, we will enrich consumer experiences with omni-channel, with credit, with rewards. And for merchants, we will help them unlock growth and efficiencies by expanding our branded offerings and accelerating the rollout of products that fuel the flywheel, like agentic checkout, omni-channel, and value-added services. In markets outside the top 10, we will focus on enabling our core merchant and consumer offerings to meet the local needs. So this is what expanded reach looks like. So how do we take our customers on this journey with us? Well, we use our playbook. We lead with our trusted brand and history of strong partnerships. We support our markets at every level, from C-suite to operating teams. We leverage vertical-specific expertise to align on shared goals and outcomes for our merchants, and we partner and track success collaboratively. This playbook helps us move faster, execute with rigor, and we can do this over and over again around the world. Let me bring this to life with one of our merchant partners, Meta. You see, like many of our customers, Meta started with us with a branded checkout experience many years ago. This gave them and our shared customers a trusted way to pay and get paid on their marketplace. Over time, we've expanded our relationship across more of their surfaces, like Instagram, to include processing, payouts, foreign exchange, and offers. More products, optimized experiences, all of that drives higher conversions. It increased their margins, and it's increasing ours. This is a page right out of our playbook, right out of our playbook. We operate as strategic thought partners. we have shared goals, and we innovate together. Let me give you another example. This one's from Japan. Be Forward. They're a trusted name in the used car marketplace. In 2018, they started with branded checkout in LATAM, the Caribbean, and Africa. We now connect them to consumers in over 170 markets. And we've helped them scale. They added more products, they optimized their user experiences, and they're growing branded checkout. Our share has grown by more than 500%, and we've increased margin 6 times. So we expand reach by scaling product. We expand reach by deepening relationships like those of Meta and Be Forward. We also expand reach by focusing on key verticals. We're accelerating our progress in professional services, in food and delivery, real money gaming, and in digital goods. These represent very large addressable TAMs. They're also very high yielding, and they require the level of specialization that we are uniquely positioned to deliver. Let's take real money gaming. We win here because we offer global pay-in and payouts, high auth rates, fast money movement, and the industry's best risk management and controls. So these are some of the ways we're expanding reach. I'll talk about our second priority, which is scaling relevance through partners. Here, we take a very platform approach to partnerships. And we do that in 3 ways. The first is distribution. We leverage industry leaders that extend our reach for core services and help us get to market faster with our latest innovations. And just this morning, we announced a new partnership with JP Morgan Payments that will offer Fastlane for our merchant clients in the UK and Europe. The second is integrating experiences that complement our flywheel. And a great example that Alex mentioned earlier is Amazon Buy with Prime. Later this year, we will launch PayPal as a payment method for Buy with Prime and allow our consumers to use their Prime benefits when checking out at their favorite merchants. And the last is embedding our products and services into our partner ecosystems. Here, PayPal acts as an embedded service, and we seamlessly power payments wherever the customer may be. So, expanding reach and scaling relevance, none of this works without an exceptional product experience. And as you heard from Frank earlier, friction at checkout, well, it leads to lower conversion. Our new checkout experience addresses latency, login success rates, and gives our customers more options. We're seeing really encouraging results in conversion rates. We've seen consistent improvement in every vertical, with increases in the mid-teens for live events and single-digit improvement in travel, streaming, and delivery services. Our aim is to have 80% of our customers using the latest checkout experiences by the end of 2027. So, to conclude, the mission and priorities for global markets are clear and compelling. We're committed to powering PayPal's commerce flywheel across our markets. I have personally never been more convinced about the size and abundance of opportunity for PayPal in both the immediate and the longer term. We have the team, the operating model, the strategy in place to execute and to win. Thank you. I'll turn it back to Steve.
Susan, Frank, Michelle, thank you so much for those insights on our customers, our products and services. Fantastic. We're going to take a quick break right now for 10 minutes, and then you can come back in. Please be in your seats by